Caitlin Clark, 27 and 11, and now holds the record for the most 25-point, 10-assist games in WNBA history.
It started like any other early season WNBA matchup. Lights on, cameras rolling, fans in the stands. But something was different. Not just in the air, but on the court. A kind of urgency, an electricity. Because that night, Caitlin Clark wasn't just stepping into a basketball game, she was stepping into history. With 27 points and 11 assists, Clark didn't just help her team push the game down to a single possession. She shattered an all-time WNBA record, and she did it in only her second year in the league. 6 games with at least 25 points and 10 assists. Let that sink in. Diana Taurasi, 4. Sabrina Ionescu, 5. Caitlin Clark, 6. And she got there in just 44 games. That's not normal. That's not growth. That's explosion. It's rewriting the blueprint for what a second-year guard is supposed to look like. When people talk about greatness, they often speak in timelines. Longevity, consistency, veteran polish. Clark, it seems, isn't interested in any of that. She's crushing timelines, bending standards, and forcing a league to reconsider what greatness looks like in real time. She isn't just breaking records, she's leapfrogging them, leaving behind names that have defined women's basketball for over a decade. Her pace isn't impressive, it's absurd. In less than 50 games, she's done what took Diana Taurasi entire seasons to accomplish. What Courtney Vandersloot needed over 300 games to complete, Clark did in a fraction. That's not development, that's dominance. There was a moment, early in that game, where it all seemed to click. Midway through the second quarter, Clark split a double team, froze the weak side defender with a hesitation dribble, and delivered a no-look bounce pass into the lane that looked almost casual, until you realized the ball had sliced through 4 defenders and landed perfectly in her teammates' hands. That pass didn't just lead to a bucket. It told you everything you needed to know. The vision, the control, the precision. This isn't a player figuring it out. This is a player, already 2 steps ahead. By halftime, Clark was flirting with yet another triple-double. 16 points, 7 assists, 5 rebounds. And you could see it happening. A rhythm most rookies or even rising stars take years to master. Clark's already performing like she's been in the league for 5. And that's what's scaring defenders. It's not just the numbers. It's the poise, the calm, the refusal to be rushed. Nick Van Exel, watching her court presence, summed it up best. She plays at her own pace, and that's the mark of the great ones. They don't speed up to match the game. They slow the game down to match themselves. There was skepticism, of course. There always is. When Clark made her WNBA debut, critics weren't shy. Would her game translate? Would her deep range be neutralized by stronger defenders? Would her size be a liability? Was her college dominance just hype in disguise? But Clark didn't waste time answering those questions. She torched them. And she didn't do it with highlight reel threes or buzzer beaters. She did it with patience, control, and a level of passing precision this league rarely sees. She didn't force the issue. She read defenses like a seasoned veteran and picked them apart with surgical efficiency. In her first 42 games, Clark tied the record for the most 20-point, 10-assist performances in WNBA history, a mark held by Courtney Vandersloot, a veteran, who's played since 2011. Vandersloot reached that milestone in 343 games. Clark tied it in 42. You don't just stumble into that kind of pace. You rewrite what's possible. Her offensive gravity alone is changing how teams defend. Pulling defenders 30 feet out, forcing switches, opening up cuts for teammates who've never had this much space to operate. Her impact isn't just on the stat sheet. It's in the shots her teammates are getting, the spacing that wasn't there a season ago, the rhythm of an entire offense that's now built around one player, who sees the game like she's watching it from the rafters. What's maybe more impressive is that she's doing all this without demanding the spotlight. Her game speaks loud enough, and fans are listening. Arenas are packed. Road games feel like home games. Doesn't matter if it's New York, Vegas, Chicago. The building is sold out. You can feel the tension in the room before tip-off, not because fans are anxious, but because they're hoping tonight is the night Clark does something ridiculous again. And usually, she does. When she was, Introduced during a game against the defending champion Aces, you'd think she was on the home team. The crowd roared. Phones came out. People stood just to get a glimpse. And that's not something that happens in women's basketball. Not until now. TV numbers don't lie either. One of Clark's games recently became the most viewed WNBA regular season broadcast since 2000. She's not a player. She's a cultural event, and the league knows it. The WNBA has been pushing for growth for decades. Pushing for more media coverage, better sponsorships, bigger contracts. Now Caitlin Clark is dragging that growth into reality. Sponsors are calling, deals are happening, and salaries, they're about to rise, fast. There's talk that rookie deals could soon hit $350,000 a year, nearly tripling what they were just a few seasons ago. Clark didn't just kick the door down, she's remodeling the entire building. What makes it all more surreal is that she's still being targeted, still being tested. Defenders are physical with her, screens are harder, traps are quicker. It's a welcome to the league on repeat. But Clark doesn't just survive it, she embraces it. She plays through contact. She finds angles others miss. She doesn't complain, she adjusts. And that's what's terrifying. She's only going to get better. The game's still slowing down for her, and yet she's already moving faster than anyone else. By the end of this season, she could be second all-time in triple-doubles, chasing down legends who built their resumes over a decade. The gap isn't closing, it's flipping. What makes Clark's rise even more impactful is how her presence is lifting everyone else. Players around her are benefiting. They're getting easier looks, more assists, cleaner lanes. The whole offense moves differently with her on the court. And beyond that, the league itself is changing. Suddenly, women's basketball is in the national conversation every day. She's not just a headline, she's a movement. And it's not built on marketing gimmicks or viral hype. It's built on results, on excellence, on consistency. She's being compared to legends already. Some say she has the crowd-pulling magic of Allen Iverson, the swagger of Diana Taurasi, and the floor vision of Chris Paul. And while comparisons are flattering, they also miss the point. Caitlin Clark isn't the next anyone. She's the first, Caitlin Clark. And right now, there isn't a player in the league who affects the game quite like she does. What she's done so far isn't just about her. It's about the direction the WNBA is going. Her stats are wild. Her records are jaw-dropping. But the real story is the shift she's creating. A league long overshadowed is finally getting its moment. And it's doing it because one player made herself impossible to ignore. Clark has become the proof point that excellence in women's basketball isn't just out there. It's here, right now. And the scariest part? She's just getting started.